These are the pictures of Habermas, Adorno, Walter Benjamin, Herbert Marcuse, Horkheimer, and Erich Fromm. Questioning long-standing beliefs was always a norm in philosophy. Philosophy has always been subversive. Between World War I and World War II, a group of intellectuals decided to wage a battle against exploitation, repression, and alienation, which had become a part of Western civilization. Their arguments are today called critical theory. And its essence is, freedom is not part of any institutional arrangement or static system of thought. The concept of perennial philosophy itself is questioned. There should be new possibilities for liberation. And these techniques for the liberation should be interdisciplinary, experimental, and skeptical of tradition and certainties. Immanuel Kant, Hegel, and Marx provided the intellectual funding for these theorists. The Marxian economic base and cultural superstructure concept was just a subtext for these theorists. Karl Koch and Georges Lukács provided the method. The Institute for Social Research was founded in 1923 in the University of Frankfurt, and it is their theories that are today called critical theory. It started off as intellectual work to aid proletarian revolutions, but gradually it took on a more progressive character, probably because of decline in the Russian Revolution, rise of Nazism, etc. The Frankfurt School focused on the nature of science and technologies, popular education, mass politics, etc. They had no problem in taking insights from Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, Kafka, Proust, Beckett, etc. They in fact reached out to a sort of negative dialectics. Negative dialectics is a subversive form of thinking which does not take one to any transcendental ground or principle. It in fact urges philosophy to confront the relations between concepts, objects, ideas, and the physical world. Negative dialectics tries to free dialectics, the Hegelian thesis, antithesis, synthesis, from positive traits. It is an anti-system, and it had tremendous influence on culture studies later. Marxian ideas of alienation and reification were closely watched by the Frankfurt School. Alienation, a concept which was studied in detail by Marx, argues that often the workers are separated from the product of their labor, because he produces only parts of a product, as in a car. The total car is not made by him. Only parts, spare parts are made by him. He does not have a holistic idea of the product, and hence the worker becomes alienated. Whereas the farmer plants, cares, and harvests his crops, and he faces no alienation. Reification is another idea propounded by Marx, which argues that abstract and intangible human qualities like thoughts, ideas, and philosophy are transformed into physical objects, creating a sort of commodity fetish. These ideas were incorporated into the critical theory project. One of the main areas of study was how complex ideas and categories impacted the individual. Nazism, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the Soviet Gulag, and American McCarthyism was looming large. And these happenings proved that human development was actually barbaric. And therefore, the cliche critique of capitalism was not enough. Conformity was destroying autonomy and individuality. Only education could counter authoritarianism and the coming of culture industry. Critical theory also transformed everyday life and individual experience. Critical theory provided a radical alternative to the family, sexuality, and education. It was in fact a new sensibility without cruelty and competition. Frankfurt School theorists argued that one of the biggest problems was thinking was reduced to mechanical notions, and in the process, ethical reflection of thought was vanishing. Aesthetic enjoyment was becoming standardized. The individual was just a cog in a machine. The Frankfurt School theorists were very popular among radical intellectuals because they always spoke about the transformation of everyday life and individual experiences. In fact, they believed in a rational organization of human activity which alone could illuminate and legitimate. Moreover, these theories were concerned intensely with man and all their potentialities. There is cultural chaos. Large buildings, they all look alike, which is one of the symptoms of power capital. Films and radio are no more art. The trash they produce is only for profit. Technology has created standard products. Automobiles, bombs, and films represent domination. The telephone allowed the subject to exist, and the radio automatically looks more democratic, but the radio creates mere listeners. Beethoven and Tolstoy are trivially adapted. And the difference between car models like Chrysler and Ford is just an illusion. Movies from Warner Brothers and MGM look alike. Wagner's idea of total art is mocked. In music, painting, novel, etc., there's a formula, a sort of schema. German films look very democratic, but are actually dictatorial. All art forms become caricatures of old styles. Today, there is aesthetic barbarism. Today's culture mockingly fulfills the idea of unified culture. Even the styles of Schoenberg, Picasso, and the Dadais are absorbed into the dominant form of universality. The aim of enlightenment itself was pluralism and rationality. But today, there are only exploitative motives. Art is like any other consumer good. All cultural products remind people of the victory of invested capital and the might of industrial society. Culture industries are products of transnational and globalized networks that work across borders. The Frankfurt School had its ups and downs. With the Nazis taking power in Germany, the school shifted to Geneva for some time, then to Paris, then to Columbia University, New York, and finally, after the Nazi fall, the Germans invited them back to Frankfurt. Some of these towering intellectuals have made tremendous contributions not just to the Frankfurt School, but to the coming theorists, especially of culture studies and postmodernism. Horkheimer spoke about the impact of suffering and liberating possibilities of individual experience. His seminal work, The Dialectic of Enlightenment, which he co-authored with Adorno in 1947, puts forth striking arguments. Erich Fromm, in fact, linked the theories of Freud and Marx. His works like The Art of Loving and A Sane Society proves that gradually he moved away from the Frankfurt style of writing and became a stylist somewhat on the pattern of Walter Pater. Herbert Marcuse put forth concepts like happy consciousness, repressive desublimation, the great refusal, etc. His work, The One-Dimensional Man, published in 1964, is very important. Walter Benjamin took off because he was popularized in the US by the political theorist Hannah Arendt. His concept of Luftmensch, which speaks of the impractical individual whose imagination lifts him beyond the world is interesting. He has also written prolifically on eating, storytelling, book collecting, etc. His works, Illuminations, published in 69, and Reflections, published in 86, deserve mention. He has also studied Baudelaire, Goethe, Kafka, and Proust in great detail. Theodore Adorno, one dreams to have his faculties. Basically a musicologist. And mind you, when Thomas Mann wrote Dr. Faustus, it was in fact Adorno who advised him on the lengthy music sessions in the book. It was he who made the idea of negative dialectics very popular. His works, like Philosophy of Modern Music and his studies on radio and TV, are important. He always spoke about the uncompromising commitment towards freedom. Jürgen Habermas had intense belief in the rule of law and liberal democracy. His work, Moral Communication and Communicative Action, took on the ideas of the critical school to the future. But gradually, Habermas also started moving away from the Frankfurt school, and he started writing extensively on ideas like the public sphere, a realm in society where citizens can freely express themselves, etc. And he was worried about the death of the public sphere. His concept of modernity, the project of modernity being incomplete, and it had many more things to do, and therefore postmodernism had not yet arrived, was slightly controversial and problematic. What makes critical theory and the Frankfurt School very important is that with the growth of culture studies, the theories of these theoreticians started creating new paths and tracks.